So here's how we get the user's location. Now, what if somewhere else in this app, let's say on another screen, we need to know the user's location? Then we'd have to repeat all this code there. Now, in this case, this is a hypothetical scenario. We don't have another screen with this requirement. But I thought this is a good time to talk about custom hooks. Using a custom hook, we can encapsulate some state and some logic around that state inside a single reusable function. Let me show you how it works. So inside the app folder, let's add a new folder called hooks. Now here we add a new file called use location. So all hooks should start with use. That's a common convention. Now here we define a function, just a regular JavaScript function. So const use location is a function. We could also define this using the function declaration syntax. It doesn't matter. Now, let's export this from this module. We could also combine these two statements into a single statement. So here we can say export default. That's better. Now in this function, we're going to add all the code that we wrote in the last lesson. So back to our listing edit screen, we're going to take our state as well as the logic around that state. So the get location function, as well as where we use the effect hook. So let's take all this code, cut it, and then move it to our new function. So here we have a regular JavaScript function. There is nothing magical about this. We just have some code that we're going to reuse in multiple places. Now, because this is just a regular JavaScript function, we can decide what we want to return from this function. In this case, I want to return the user's location. So at the end, we return the location. What we have here is called a custom hook. So a custom hook encapsulates some state and some logic around that state in a single place. Now we can reuse this hook in multiple places. But before we do that, let's fix something here real quick. So here we're awaiting these calls, but what if this promise, the promise that we get from this method, isn't resolved? Then we'd end up with an unresolved promise. So we should wrap this code inside a try-catch block. So try-catch, and then move all this code there. Okay. So in this catch block, for now, let's just log the error. Now, before we move on, let's import the location API on the top. So import everything as location from expo-location. Also, we're using the state and effect hooks. So let's import them. Here's the state hook, and here's the effect hook. We're done here. Now, back to our listing edit screen. Here we can simply call our custom hook and get the user's location. As simple as that. So if somewhere else in this app we need to get the user's location, all we have to do is to import and call this function. Now let's test our app. So one more time, I'm going to fill out this form. And here's my location in the terminal. Beautiful. So with this, let's go to the top and remove the unused import statements. Good. And good.